Today, I'm excited that I just got a hit, an intuitive hit, to share with you this powerful process of conscious connected breath work. Some of you might have heard of it as me calling it integrative breath work. And today we're going to dive into the topic around how your breath has the ability to create pain or pleasure in your life, and it truly comes down to a choice of how you breathe, as well as how your breath pattern, we all have a breath pattern, which can be changed because it's a conditioned breath pattern. So we're going to talk a little bit about how your breath pattern is an exact mirror to the way that we all relate in the world and to the people around us. And then today, I'm going to take you through a 3 to 5 minute breath journey. So in order to dive into that journey today, it is important that you are sitting someplace comfortably, that you're in a chair where your back is supported. Even ideally, if your head can be supported, that would be awesome. Make sure that you are not operating heavy machinery or driving a car, because part of this breath work is we do go into altered states of consciousness and reality. So be mindful of that. Let's talk about breath. So my belief and my experience with breathing and breath is that it is the most intimate relationship that I will ever have the chance to experience in my life. That's my relationship with breath. And why I say that is because if we were to pause, close your eyes. So I invite you to do this with me. Close your eyes. Allow in a deep breath. You might particularly feel that it's hard to breathe, that there's constriction in your body, or that there's relaxation, openness. However, when you pause to allow in that breath, what it automatically instigates or enhances is you are going to feel something. So breath allows me to feel more. The breath is keeping me alive, right? The deeper we breathe, the more life we actually feel. When we hold our breath, it actually creates more pain in the body. It creates more disconnection in our body, in the reality with our own emotional body or psyche, as well as our relationship to the world around us. The breath is always moving in us, whether we are present to it or not. It is there as a team player, I'd like to say, in relationship to us, that it wants us to win. It wants us to thrive. So it's interesting because when I'm speaking to you now, I'm speaking of the breath as it were a relationship, because it is a relationship. And many of us, again, I'll reiterate, we either choose to have a relationship with our breath or we don't. And so today's topic around conscious connected breathing, the word that stands out is conscious breathing, is because it's all about developing a relationship again with our breath. And why developing a relationship with our breath in this way is actually one of the most effective and efficient ways to feel more pleasure, to enhance pleasure, to create more connection with our own body, our own being, as well as connection and love around us. So conscious connected breathing is a way that we are able to, through a specific rhythmic breath, we are able to access non-ordinary states of consciousness, as well as a relationship with our psyche. It allows us to actually integrate through this work. And I'm talking about conscious connected breathing. I'm not speaking of pranayama or meditation, which is different. They all have their place. But conscious connected breathing allows us to go really deep into our those non-ordinary states of consciousness into our cellular memory, into those places where we have suppressed those uncomfortable areas in our past, in our memory. So it allows us to go in and integrate the emotional and psychological body. So imagine the moments where you feel pain. Imagine, the perfect analogy I like to use is, imagine when you've stubbed your toe. Like when we stub our toe, we're like, ah! Like we typically don't have that smile on our face. Sometimes I have a permanent smile on my face, but we stub our toe, we feel immense pain. And the first instinctual thing more often than not, that we do is we hold our breath and we constrict, the body constricts. So when we feel discomfort or pain, the body tends to go into a fight, flight, or freeze mode. And so what happens in that time frame is energetically and physically, everything pulls up where my hands are at, or my solar plexus, everything pulls up into our center and constricts. So imagine that like a hand that grips around something. And so this is what happens when we go into that fight, flight, or freeze. Physically, the breath constricts, pulls up, and then there's a gripping around the experience that we just had that was either traumatic or uncomfortable. And because of the way that our mind judges the experience, our human bodies actually don't fully let go of that grip. So we don't fully let go to allow in an easeful breath again. And what starts to happen is, imagine a lifetime, depending on our age, that we've experienced this 10, 20, 100, thousands of times. And every time the same thing happens where pull up, contract, hold breath, and there's a gripping. And so now we've created this very dense, solid state, which is very different from how we were on the day of our birth. So that moment of birth is going to be the most open way that we feel and experience our breath if we were born a somewhat normal, healthy birth. So now we're living with all these constrictions, which create more, what comes to my mind is kind of more hardness, more density, more thickness. And so imagine, I'll raise my hands a little bit, imagine we have this, my bottom hand. My bottom hand here is that physical body, which it starts to get very dense and thick and heavy throughout a lifetime of suppressing our experiences and our emotions. In the middle here, imagine a sandwich. In the middle here, we have our emotional and mental body. This is that place that, at a young age or at birth, that it's like there's nothing there, or it's just like a very thin, clear veil. And then throughout all those experiences and suppressions, those veils start to become thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and start to feel like walls. Above it all, on the top of the sandwich, what we have is that spiritual connection, or that place where we're truly living, guided by our intuition, open, connected, and we don't have the emotional triggers or the reactions, but we really feel clear, connected. I'm going to say intimately connected with life, right? So the thicker this middle part of the inner part of our sandwich gets, the more we start to live with the idea or the illusion that we are disconnected from making wiser choices, from having clear direction, from connection to our intuition, from feeling more pleasure or feeling more intimacy. And so when we are able to go in and start to allow our breath to come back to this more open, effective, and efficient state, back to, I'm going to say, its natural way from when we were born, as we start to live more connected. We just naturally become more connected. And you're integrating, again, that emotional and psychological components of us, that we're clearing those old suppressions that once lived in our body memory. So I mentioned in the notes that our breath pattern is an exact mirror to the way that we relate to the world or to other people and people in relationships too. And I say that because to, again, reframe a little bit is going back, is our breath pattern was created based on our life story, right? Everything that filled our recipe. And now our breath pattern is, I'm going to step back a little bit. So our patterns actually hold in different places within the patterning of our breath, in different places of the body. We actually hold underlying emotional suppressions. And so, for example, when I'm taking someone through a journey with the breath, when I'm using breath specifically as a tool, is I'm reading someone's breath pattern by how it's moving in their body, where it's moving in their body, and where those underlying emotional patterns are stored. If we are living with a breath pattern where our solar plexus is really contracted from day to day, and we're feeling this disconnection from our chest breathing to our belly breathing, and potentially maybe your pattern shows that you only able to actually breathe with your secondary diaphragmatic muscles, which is up high in the chest, versus using your primary diaphragmatic muscles, which are down in the belly, abdomen. That would demonstrate in life that you might feel pulled in multiple directions. You might have a challenge with making decisions, feeling less grounded, feeling maybe angst and like you've taken on the world. You might have personality that you are taking on 110 things, but you're not feeling very fulfilled or connected. And so this is where our breath pattern gives us information of maybe relational dysfunctions. And then from that place of gathering information, we're then able to shift that patterning by changing the breath pattern. Because the thing is to gather the information so you have direction, not necessarily to use it and become a victim or have it be an excuse. So on that note, I would love to take you through a breath journey right now. And so if you're here listening in, what's going to be important, and I'll remind you, is to make sure that you are not going to be interrupted for the next 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes. Make sure that you have a comfortable seat. This is important in this work, that your back is fully supported. Reason being is because this breath work focuses on letting go of control. It wants to have a very relaxed diaphragm. And so if we're sitting up straight in more of a meditative form of seat, our core is somewhat engaged and the diaphragm isn't as relaxed. So again, we're using this to integrate versus going into a meditation. So your back is relaxed in a chair, maybe your head is supported. Find that place now, turn your phone off if your phone is on, put it on airplane mode. Have a blanket nearby if you'd like to keep warm and comfortable. Once you're in that place, I'm going to invite you to, if you're sitting, please make sure your feet are on the floor. If you're lying up against something like a bunch of pillows on the back of a bed or a wall, just make sure you bend your knees and bring your feet flat. That would be great. So I'm going to invite you to simply listen to my voice now and to allow your eyes to close. Please go ahead and place your hands on the lowest part of your belly, right where the soft part of your belly meets the pubic bone, right underneath your navel center. I'm going to invite you, as you place your hands on your lower belly, to just place a little bit of pressure on your lower abdomen. This is going to be your guide as to where to direct your breath today. Allow and check in for your shoulders to be relaxed, your back to be relaxed. I invite you to gently open up your jaw, as this today will be breathing in and out through the mouth. So allowing your jaw to stretch open, just start to bring in breath in through your mouth and out through your mouth. Allow your inhale to gently come in, and for now, allow your exhale to have a gentle, quick sigh. Let's do that 2 more times. Big breath in. And 1 more time. And with your eyes closed, I invite you to continue to breathe, but now allowing your exhale to silent, to let go of the sound. Continuing to breathe, you're creating a wave with your breath. Your intention is to begin to connect the inhale with the exhale. There is no force or struggle here with your breath. You're simply opening it up to allow a breath into your belly and letting it go like a silent sigh. Maybe following the rhythm of my breath. You can imagine that in every breath, you're creating a connected circle. Your inhale is one part of the circle. Your exhale is the other part of the circle. Fully connected with no pauses. So it feels like you have one breath. One full circular breath. As I continue to breathe, my heart is relaxed. My belly is open. It is safe to breathe. Every inhale I breathe in life, I welcome in all my good. Every inhale I affirm, I am worthy to receive. I am connected and grounded in who I am. Every exhale I let go with ease and grace. I make space for all the new that serves the highest good of my life and my journey. As you breathe, my breath is connected from the tailbone to the upper throat. My breath moves with ease and grace. It is safe to communicate my needs. My heart is open to love and receive love. For the next few moments, continuing to breathe, connecting the inhale with the exhale, inviting the body to relax more and more. My heart dissolves. My mind relaxes. My heart opens into my vibrational body. As I open up to connection to my source, to my higher self, to spirit, I open up to direct and clear knowing. I open up to receive the gifts that serve the highest good of my day, my journey. As the body begins to relax even more, the breath begins to soften even more, allowing the body to begin to dissolve into your own embrace. as if melting into the arms of your own being, the lover inside of you, that relationship to your own source inside of you. I invite you to keep your eyes closed for a few more moments. Just allow yourself to feel the space you've just created through your own breath. Feel this place of new awareness. Maybe noticing where your breath is open and where your breath still has space to grow in your body. Bringing in a very deep, full breath as we breathe in gratitude and appreciation for all that was received here today. All that was received here, known and unknown. Knowing that you are ready for your day, ready to move forward, having everything you need. So I invite you, as you feel ready, to gently prepare to open your eyes. Just stretch your body in whatever way feels really nourishing for you. And you give thanks to yourself. Because remember, intimacy begins with yourself. Your breath is one of the most intimate relationships you will ever experience. And it is through developing that relationship that you will become more open and naturally and effortlessly connected to expressing fuller ways of love, of intimacy, of connection, of compassion to the people in your life, to the world around you.